What are you drinking this morning?
Lavender chai latte. Those don't make my ears happy. Hello, and welcome to Hardly Working, the show about life, love, and labor, hosted by the couple that works, plays, and stays together. I'm Kellie.
And I'm SP, and it's been another wonderful, wild, and wacky week. We have added some foliage to the studio. You know, we've been in the new studio for a bit. We haven't had a single second to really put it together.
But don't freak out, because it does kind of look like a bunch of green spider webs behind you.
Yes, so if you're just listening, imagine green spider webs right behind me.
It's a palm tree.
It's
what he
boy, and
wanted.
boy is it.
I offered to get you a different type of tree, and you were like, no, let's do a palm tree.
Is that your impression of me?
It's the Grinch impression.
No.
No.
Let's do
That's
a
it.
palm tree.
I want a palm tree.
I'm not going.
I don't mind it. It's big. Let's be
Yeah,
clear.
like
It'd be
when
better
you
suited for outside.
It's a focal point when you walk into the studio. It's
I think
all
our trees
big.
match our personalities.
They definitely match our
Mine is-
energy. Yours is very put together and beautiful and slender, and mine is chaos.
Hey.
Well, Kel, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I'm slightly under the weather, so I can tell I'm a little bit lower energy.
What are you drinking today for your under the weatherness?
I'm just drinking a chai tea latte with lavender cream foam.
I thought you might get a medicine ball.
I should have. I didn't want it.
I've been in multiple relationships where the other person has asked me to go get that for them. And I always feel guilty about it. It started because I didn't know if it was a real menu item, because it's not on the big board. No. And two, every time someone walks in and gets a medicine ball, it's kind of acknowledging like, hey, just so you know, the person picking this up from you is sick.
Yeah. I mean, it
So-
could just taste good. I do enjoy the taste of medicine balls. I do think they taste very good, but I don't actually know what's in a medicine ball. And since it's not a menu item, I didn't know how to order it this morning on my mobile app.
Oh, yeah. I've only ever ordered
can't
it
just
in
type
person.
Medicine ball.
Did you try? I'm just curious.
No, but I can try now. If you,
No.
I'll
Put it
try
away.
later.
We know how that goes. Then I lose you for 90 seconds.
No,
I have to stall. I have to do
you're
a
good
tight
at that.
90 seconds on the medicine ball drink.
you're good at that. I know that it's lemon.
What's the deal with medicine balls?
I know that it's lemon and honey and a certain type of tea. That's all I got.
All
Which
righty.
is what a medicine ball is.
Well, I hope you feel better through this episode. This episode will heal you. It will,
Heal your soul.
yeah, maybe not your throat, but definitely your soul. Oh, I just got a Waymo
I was like, you better
notification.
put that on Do Not Disturb.
I know, my
Mine
bad.
already is.
So I looked into Waymo.
I don't know what that is.
That is the driverless Ubers, essentially.
No, I'm not doing it. I
No,
refuse.
I was down. Well, because I have a flight coming up that's at 5 a.m., which means I have to be there at like 3 a.m. And at the time, you were not available to take me.
I'm still not available to take you at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm just kidding.
But so I looked into Waymo because I've had less than great experiences with Uber. You may know if you listen to the show or follow any of our social media. Early morning or late night Ubers are a little bit triggering for me. But a driverless car, that's how bad it is. I would put my life in the hands of a driverless vehicle before I would get an Uber at 3 a.m. right now.
That's crazy.
That's just where I'm at. Unfortunately, even though we're in Los Angeles, they do not service our area. It's a very small area that they service. I still don't think they can go on freeways and stuff like that.
That makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it on a freeway.
You know, there was one article, though, that I didn't pull from this week that was talking about the older generation. And by that, I just mean parent age.
Like my dad and my mom.
No, like us, too.
Oh.
Being frustrated that, like, Gen Z doesn't want to get driver's licenses.
I'm not necessarily frustrated.
I get it. One, they have less places to go.
Yeah.
Two, everything is heading towards driverless.
Sure.
Three, there are Ubers, Waymos, Lyfts, all that kind of stuff that can get you to where you're going. I know people our age who don't own a car in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
expensive.
insane to me, though.
We just drive very far to take our kid to school.
Yeah, but even if we didn't have that,
I'd have a car.
yeah, like every
But
time
I've
you go
had
to
a
the
car.
grocery store, you'd have to get an Uber.
Some people don't.
They don't go to the
Just
grocery
Amazon
store?
Fresh.
I guess you could do that. That's what we do.
Don't support big companies. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know.
Boy. Yeah, we haven't figured all that out yet. But that's okay. Now's not the time to solve the world's problems.
No, people don't want to get a driver's license. Fine, but Brooklyn will get one.
Oh, of course.
I'll make her.
She's going to do all the things that set her apart. All of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a busy but good week. No gigs this week for me.
Me
but, which was great we our big thing was walking, which is not exciting to talk about on a podcast.
No, but it was exciting for us in our personal lives.
Yeah, like probably about 3 miles, roughly about 3 miles a day. The first 2 days were like 2 miles, but the next 5 days, were like 3. That's been really good.
We haven't walked in 2 days, and it's hurting my soul.
But it's not hurting your legs because those seem to need a little break after all the walking.
Sure, I'm just sad because I was like, it's good momentum. We're going. And then we stopped.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
We had good talks on the walks.
We're getting ready for our retreats, which we talked about a lot on the walk. We mentioned it last week, but we're very excited to get away and kind of figure out the next steps personally and professionally for the two of us.
I'm sorry I said I was under the weather. I'm trying. I'm sorry.
But that was a big thing. Other things we did, though, we may have mentioned it at the end of last episode, I think, or not hardly working through it, but last hardly working, that we were going to go see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Maybe. I don't know. But we did.
Yeah, whether or not we said it, we saw it. How was it for you, Kel?
It was fine. The acting was good. The practical magic effects that they do on the stage was incredible.
Yeah.
You said that too. It was like awesome. It was amazing to watch. Sorry. Like truly amazing to watch. Like the way they made them disappear, like, and they go into flu powder or they go into the phone. Yeah. Like I was like, whoa. And while I could spend the time to figure it out, I was like, I'm just going to sit in the fact that that's magic and that happened.
Just enjoy it.
They had Dementors, which
Pretty
came
wild.
down from the ceiling. That was so cool. Like truly so cool. But as someone who is a huge Harry Potter fan, and just assumed that this would be, would just be great too. I didn't walk away going like, oh my gosh, that was so good. I want to see it again. I walked away going like, okay, like I'm glad I saw it, but it was fine.
Yeah, I think I figured it out as you were describing your experience. It wasn't the best, or it wasn't the most intriguing Harry Potter story.
Yeah, I liked the story.
Right. But if it was all of those effects, but a different story, different intellectual property that we didn't know, I think I would have liked it more.
Yeah,
because visually it was amazing.
Yeah, and I would say that to your point, like I think what is so magical about the Harry Potter movies or the property is that anytime you see anything like that, you truly are immersed in the world and you feel like you're there. It's hard to do that
on stage. Yeah. And they did a great job. Yeah.
But the way I was talking to a lot of people about it was like, I don't particularly like the Beetlejuice movie personally. It's not my favorite. The second one is fine. I think I finished it. I don't even know that I finished it all, but I do like Jenna Ortega.
You watched the second one?
On a plane somewhere. I don't think I finished it. I think I got pretty close. I don't know. But yes, I did watch it on a plane. I flew a lot at the end of last year, watched a lot of movies that you did not watch with me. Twisters being my favorite. Anyone But You was a lot of Glenn Powell.
Oh, that felt like a personal attack until I realized that it was a movie called Anyone But You.
Yeah, with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, is that who that was? Glenn Powell. He kind of looks like the dude from This Is Us.
He's from Twisters too. He's like the new up and coming. Great. Love him. He's great. He's wonderful. Amazing. Never met him. Maybe one day. But we went to see Beetlejuice in the theater at Pantages.
Yes.
I did not like the movie, and so I had low expectations going in.
If you want the full review of that, just go back to our very first episode. It is literally the same time we started the show, and it's titled Beetlejuice the Musical or something.
But all that to say, I was happily surprised, and I walked away from that going, man, if that comes back, I'd go back and see that again. Like, it was so good. It was so entertaining. I laughed. I didn't cry. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I don't think
so. But
it
was just like really, 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 really good. And so I'm a theater person. I like watch going to the theater. I enjoy the theater. We've gone to many that I've been like, this is so great and so wonderful in the last couple of years. And so I was really excited about this because I was like, well, I like Harry Potter, so I'm already bought in. Like, you don't have to convince me to like this. And then we went and saw it, and I was like, oh, like Beetlejuice was better.
Honestly, it was.
Anastasia was better. Hamilton was better. Waitress was better. All of them better. You've never seen some of those, but
I can definitely agree with Beetlejuice. I don't know about any of the others.
Frozen is probably the closest as how Frozen the musical is how I felt about that is kind of how I felt about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which I was like, oh, the movie did it better.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about escape rooms?
I like those. I did not like the one we just did.
For Nick's birthday?
Yeah, but I like
Shout out to our friend Nick. Happy birthday,
buddy. He didn't really
buddy.
like it either.
Did he?
But happy birthday, yeah.
What was it about that? We went to Pasadena for Nick's birthday. Me, you, Shim, Nick, obviously, Sam and Jules. And we got locked in a basement.
Where the vandals were coming to get us. We got locked in the bunker.
Yeah, but it was
I think we were trying to get out or into the bunker. That wasn't very clear. There was a live actor in our room.
Not my favorite thing.
You normally like live actors.
I don't, actually. I generally don't like live actors in an escape room for the same reason I don't like doing escape rooms with strangers.
He was on our team, though.
I know. And he was nice, but
it was not my favorite.
It changes the vibe.
And I it's a 4-parter, and we had done the first part a couple years ago. And after doing it, I was like, yeah, I do remember being like, it wasn't our favorite.
The experience down there.
The experience.
The basement's been the best every time.
Yeah. That one I would do in a heartbeat, which I would do the elevator shaft. There's 4 of those too. The elevator shaft, and I do the basement, the proper again, because we didn't get out of that one.
Yeah. Shout out to the basement escape room in Sylmar. Not a sponsor.
Check it out. It's amazing.
It's great.
And they do team building there too. If you want to take your team, they'll give you feedback on what you guys did well, what you guys need to grow in. It's very interesting. I haven't done that, but I thought that was an interesting.
That feels like a great grift. Like, what other things can you do, but also kind of tweak to be corporate leadership training?
But how great. Like, it's fun. It's a fun thing that you're going to do. You're going to take your leaders to go do an escape room. And at the end of it, they're going to break it down and be like, all right, so this person is like a leader and they communicate it or whatever. I'd do it. I should take my team.
I'd like to put together like an outdoor ropes course that's for corporate leadership training.
They have those.
But no, here's the trick. That there is no lesson. There is no moral. The instructions are terrible. Everyone hates it and is miserable. And by the end, you find out that the exercise was dealing with difficult customers. And I am the person putting it on is a difficult customer.
I was like, are there people yelling at you while you're going through the ropes course? Like, I need help with my insurance refund.
I want to talk to your manager.
You suck at this.
Why are we Linda?
I don't know.
Both of us.
But also for Bumble's 3-year anniversary.
Yeah, which is coming up in September.
We should do a team outing to the basement.
To the basement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or to an escape room.
All 4 of us?
Well, I mean, I think we could bring people. Like, it could be Mark
bringing the
and
old
Steffi.
cast and stuff. The people who were here in season 1, but
Mark and
season
Steffi,
3.
You and me, Ashley, May, and Jonathan. They've all worked for me. Simone,
Danielle has worked for you.
Danielle and Randy. Well,
it still lives here. Who knows?
Yeah. But that could be fun.
Put it on the calendar as a maybe.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And then I'll give my own personal feedback on how I feel like we all did.
That would be awesome. Oh, we should have to set up the photo booth in the basement while solving it.
No.
At least that way I could be helpful.
You could be helpful in an escape room.
I am no good at an escape room.
I think if you just need to pick a job. For me, I go, you're good at
not good at anything.
I was going to say, you're good at finding things. And I believe that, except in our own home, when you're like, where's my backpack?
I think that makes me not good at finding things.
No, but I think that you're good at like keeping people calm. Let's be clear.
Sure.
In scary situations. You're good at being like, I'll be the one that does that.
Yeah. When you feel like you're good for nothing else, you will be the person who gets put in the tomb and rolled through the shaft of the elevator.
Yeah, but you're also good at communicating things, and you're good at listening to me. When I'm like, hey, I need your help with this. You're like, hey, okay, hey guys, has anyone found a blah, 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 blah?
That is true.
And that's really helpful.
Well,
you're good at it. You just choose not to be. You choose to take on the lighthearted energy in the room.
That's my life's purpose, maybe.
I know, and that's okay. I'm just saying, I choose to take on I'm going to get us out of here.
I don't know what's drippier, your nose or your chai latte. It's a pretty drippy situation. Is that lipstick all over it, or is that what chai looks like? It looks like you stabbed the cup.
With my mouth. My lips.
Nice. Well, we escaped the room, believe it or not.
Barely. We needed a lot of help.
And the guy was like, congratulations. Not everybody escapes this room. Totally ignoring the 75 times we asked for a hint. I was like, I don't think it counts.
I will say this. I had a good time with the people I was with.
Of course.
But that escape room was not my favorite because it wasn't, like, the clues weren't linear. Like, and maybe that's our fault because we kind of went out of order with some of them, which I learned later on, which is fine. But they didn't have a lot of fun things until you got to the second room. We weren't in there for very long. But because the first room had been a bunch of like number locks.
Combination locks.
Yeah, it was like, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combination locks. When I went into the second room, I wasn't expecting to have things more out of the box. And that was confusing because I was like, we just did a bunch of combination locks. And now you expect me to know that because this thing is here, that it relates to the alphabet.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
I wouldn't have even gotten there because my brain wasn't thinking that way because the first room was so basic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not used to that. Normally you have like a bunch of mixed things. And I do love escape rooms, let's be clear.
Yeah.
This just wasn't my favorite. And I didn't think that we should have needed that many hints. The fact that at the very beginning we were all kind of like, what do we do? We found everything. We've done everything. I don't really know. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, before we transition to That Happened Today, talking about April 9th when this episode drops, our schedules are crazy, so we end up shooting these whenever we can. But today
is April 22nd. I'm just kidding.
It's April 8th. And so before we get into what happened today,
you're going to tell me what happened on the day before? What
actually happened today?
On the 8th.
On the 8th.
Yesterday.
Do you remember what happened in 2024 on April 8th?
Did somebody die?
Sickness or health, we are always stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we got in a car accident.
Happy 1 year anniversary, babe.
We survived. And that means in a couple of days our house floods.
Yeah. I debated. I was like, should we go down the this is the beginning of the worst season for us in that year?
No.
And I was like, maybe we do it as a hardly working through it. And that's why I already talked to Brooklyn. I was like, it's the 1 year anniversary. And I was like, don't tell mom though, because I'm going to tell her on the show. And I almost told you in the car. And Brooklyn was like, no, don't tell her.
I know, she's always listening.
She's awesome.
Wazowski.
But yes, for those of you who came in late or joining the show now, a year ago, Kellie and I finished recording an episode, which makes sense because it's Tuesday today, but we usually shoot on Mondays.
We went to go get lunch.
To go and then go pick up our kid. This was right before I was the next day going on the road for 10 days to do gigs on stage in Texas and then San Antonio and then Nashville. And we got T-boned in an intersection.
Yeah.
And the glasses that I was wearing at the time broke off into the side of my face and gave me this huge black eye, which was, as you might imagine, not the most convenient thing.
Yeah, he had the airbags go off on his side.
Yeah, all the airbags on my side in the front and the back seat went off. And so did the steering wheel want to go off? I can't remember.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, it is the 1 year anniversary.
No, because you kept driving. I don't think you would have kept driving if the steering wheel airbag
I can't remember. It was not a great
There was
day.
a hit and run. The guy ran away. Never found him.
Pretty sure it was a lady, but either way.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, never found him. And we were told by the Ventura County PD or whatever, they're like, we're probably not going to find this person.
It's okay. Our insurance is great. They took care of everything, which was amazing and incredible.
But if you see a newish white Corolla or Camry with a front end that's smashed in, you let us know.
We've probably gotten it fixed now. It's been a year.
That's true. But I have this, like, if you go in to get body work done, don't they ask, like, hey, what happened?
I ran into a pole.
Ran into my own wall?
I don't know.
Into a pole?
They don't ask for things. Who knows?
Either way, it is the 1 year anniversary. And that does mark the beginning of a very trying season for us last year. That took up most of the knots on our annual top knots list.
Which you can go back and listen to if you really want to know.
It is maybe the last episode of the year or the first episode of this year. It is how we top off, end Hardly Holidays every year.
Yeah.
It's like a huge episode.
How we end the year.
It's how we end every year personally, but also on the show. But anyway, that happened today.
That's crazy.
So wish us luck that this year,
crazy,
not just April 8th, but every part of April will be better.
I hate this month. That's why it's so slow for us.
What's wild, and we don't and won't get into it, but the car accident turned out to be probably the least painful part of the month to come last year. So here's to a better April.
Great GMC rental car. They kind of upgraded me and gave me a good one that was comparable to my car. I loved it.
That's about all the positives we have, though.
That was positive for me.
That is it. Anyway, let's move on to the real segment.
I can't believe that.
I know. Aren't you glad I didn't tell you in the car to be like, we can talk about all of it on Hardly Working Through It?
In the car that we got in the car accident in.
Oh, yeah.
On the way to record this podcast. Just kidding.
It's a lot of similarities. I'll tell you where we're not going for lunch today.
I know. We're not.
Yep, not there.
That's why I brought lunch. I knew.
Anyway, let's jump in. It's not April 8th, not as far as you know, because by the time you're listening to this, it is now or after April 9th.
Thanks, April 9th.
So it's time for That happened today. Which
Thanks, April 9.
could also just be called Thanks.
Thanks, February.
Pretty solid names. Hey, a couple historical things worth mentioning happened this year or this day throughout the years.
This year.
In 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to the Union General Ulysses S. Grant.
That's right.
Effectively ending the American Civil War. Some people still think it's going on, but it is over. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Next thing was in 2003, Baghdad fell to the United States, which led the ousting of Saddam Hussein.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I know.
Dang, this is a crazy
On the same day in history.
Dang.
Thanks, April 9th.
Maybe something similar will happen this year.
We'll have to see tomorrow. I can guarantee you one thing, tariffs. That's all that I know will happen tomorrow.
That happened today.
That happened tomorrow.
No, today.
Today.
Wink.
I was trying to get to the Spanish word for today, and I lost it.
It's okay. I don't know it.
Anyway,
Today.
that's about as much history as I like to get into.
That's good.
Other fun,
Don't need more.
Other fun things. I'm so excited. So first, I'll start with the thing that I'm less excited about, but I
Okay.
think you'll be excited about.
Okay.
Film releases on April 9th throughout the years. 2004. Are you familiar with the movie called The Girl Next Door?
Is that with Kristen Bell?
It's not, but don't worry about it then, because I know you know this one. Never Been Kissed came out in 1999. A romantic comedy featuring a journalist who goes
Barrymore.
undercover at a high school
That's a good one. Still holds up, at least for me.
and finds herself reliving her teenage years. I would not have been interested in seeing this in theaters.
Yeah, she was a big nerd in her actual high school years.
But with that said, I miss these types of simpler movies.
Yeah, that's why I watch them all the time.
Yeah. And so rattle off a few that are important to you that are kind of similar to this. I know
old
like
school?
10 Things I Hate About You's on the list. Or excuse me.
No.
I always mix that up.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Different 10 movie, okay?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 13 Going on 30.
Yep.
Great, great, great.
Simple premises.
27 Dresses.
How about Failure to Launch?
I did like Failure to Launch.
Anything with Matthew McConaughey or Kate
My
Hudson
Best
in it.
Friend's Wedding. The Wedding Planner. Made in Manhattan. These are just Jennifer Lopez movies that I'm naming.
You really like J-Lo.
Well, back then, yes. You got a lot more. You have, what did I just, 2 weeks notice. You have, You've Got Mail is too old for me. So we're just not going to go there.
Not a bad movie.
But not a bad movie.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're talking more recent, you have like The Hating Game. That's a good one.
So they still are making movies
Anyone
kind of
But
like
You
this.
is one of those ones.
How do you feel about movies that are getting released straight to streamer versus in theaters?
I don't mind it. I just watched The Life List with Sophia Carson.
Uh-huh.
Is that her last name? Yeah.
Sure.
She's from Descendants, if anybody knows that.
Oh, we've watched
She's
three of
also
those.
like sings with Andrea Bocelli and all this stuff. She's very talented.
Is he still around? Is she still around? Is Andrea Bocelli still around?
Yes.
Got it.
But she's done like Purple Hearts was like a straight to streamer one that was really good on Netflix. The Life List I just watched. Connie Britton is in that.
Let me ask you this though.
But it's real. I enjoy it.
But it no longer feels like a TV movie, right? It's
No.
not like there's a difference. Because when we were growing up, or even as recent as like 5 years,
Yeah.
if it wasn't in theaters, it was like, oh, well, it's a lesser movie.
Yeah, these aren't that. These almost feel even more high quality than some of the movies they put in the theaters, which I know is crazy to say. But it's like more, you can tell that everyone really cares about the project
Right.
that they're doing. And it's still really, really good. So yeah, The Hating Game was a straight to streamer. The Life Lesson or Life List, like I said, Purple Hearts is another one of those. Any of my Christmas movies that I've watched with Vanessa Hudgens, The Princess Switch 1, 2, and 3.
Those I would slightly categorize a little bit more like a Lifetime Hallmark movie.
But they're better than a Lifetime Hallmark movie.
I'm sure that's true. But it's in my head, it still is like, it's the Christmas season. It's the
Yeah.
made for TV
But
movies.
I will say this, and now we're just getting into it. It really does depend on what streamer it's on. Anything on Netflix is normally a 10 out of 10. They normally hit it out of the park.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm going to watch a movie, I'm normally going to look on Netflix because they have the movies that I know are going to be good because Netflix is really investing in their streamer. Like
Yeah.
Netflix isn't making movies for the movie theater.
No.
They're making movies for their streamer.
Right.
Stranger Things is not a movie, but Think about even the TV shows they have, Stranger Things, Wednesday.
Yeah, and you know what? You make a great point because I think that's when the shift happened is when I believe it was Netflix started getting nominated for Emmys for stuff like Stranger Things. People were like, oh, these streamers are actually putting like real...
I need to do it, but keep talking. I'm going to be talking to you.
They're putting out real good content. And that reminds me, as you do whatever you're doing, I just want to throw this out there too, because it was something that was really exciting for me that I didn't talk about at the beginning of the show for some reason. I'm in the midst of a really cool opportunity to host a TV show. True. Yeah, I've had two auditions and a callback. Yesterday was a callback. For those who don't understand how that works, really quick, they'll put out a role. They'll be like, hey, we want to host for this TV show. And then they might get 10,000 people who submit. From those 10,000, they might pick 1,000 people to get auditions or self-tapes from. Out of those 1,000 people, they might pick 100 to call in for callbacks. It's what it's called. It's like the second round of auditions or third round of auditions. So I've gone through multiple steps here. And yesterday was an in-person callback, and it really wasn't a callback as much as it was a chemistry test and like an on-screen chemistry read. And so they were pairing us up, guys and girls. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm getting into. But I show up at, and I'm not going to be talking anything specifics, just in case anyone in the project is listening. It's nothing to do with the specifics of it, just my experience, which is tremendously positive. But I walked in, and there was a sheet, and you had to see like who am I paired up with so we can kind of read through before we go in the room and do it live. And there was only 4 pairs of people.
Yeah.
So there was only 4 guys left for my role, myself being one of them, and same with the ladies.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, it's crazy to have gotten this far in it. Because the industry has been so nuts lately that we just haven't had a lot of these opportunities for, honestly, like since prior to COVID.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. The casting director.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah, the casting director is just one of the kindest. You know, when you just meet a person, you're like, oh, we are the same type of person. Like kind, caring, want to interact, don't see someone as above or below us. We're all trying to get to the same goal. She was wonderful. Everyone in the room was wonderful. The people that I read with were really 3 out of 4 of them were spot on top of their game. But even the one who was maybe dropping pieces here and there was excellent at their craft. Everyone in that room was pretty phenomenal. So we'll keep you updated on it. I didn't really want to talk too much about it because, you know, there's just so many no's in the industry that it's never fun when someone's like, what happened with that? And you're like, oh, nothing.
I think it's going to be great. Honestly.
I think so too. And I'm really pumped about it. So thanks for letting me share a little bit of that with everybody. Now, what were you pulling up?
I was just going to pull up. I mean, we're kind of far from it now, but I was just going to pull up.
Back to Netflix, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, your moment stuff is really important. I thought we should have talked about that earlier.
Yeah, that's my bad. I moved on.
Okay. But I was just saying, like, Netflix is like the one that has a bunch of good shows because they have all the stuff. Like, their original TV shows include like You, Outer Banks, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, Bridgerton, Wednesday, Daredevil, Emily in Paris.
Cobra
My
Kai
Life with the Walter Boys
started on YouTube.
Okay,
back in YouTube Red
they
days.
have it. The Perfect Couple was on there. Virgin River, which is a big one. Made, which was really big, really big.
I've heard of a couple of these.
Yeah. So like it is, they have some of the really good stuff on there that does get nominated and things like that.
Also,
Movies, Hitman, Purple Hearts,
Netflix,
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion was great too. Netflix would love to work with you. I will host The Floor is Lava. I'll host Is It Cake? I'll host a brand new idea that I'll tell you off air. I just need you to know I'm here. I'm ready to do it.
But my top ones are like Netflix and Max.
I know. Max is expensive.
Is Paradise on Max? Is that where I'm watching Paradise?
No, I think it's on Prime.
No,
Could
we
it
don't
be?
have Prime.
I
mean,
do.
we do, but I don't have it logged into any of my things. And so it wouldn't be.
No spoilers on Paradise because we are a couple weeks behind on it.
Not for long.
But it's very contingent on.
Oh, it's on
the twists
Hulu,
and
which
turns.
is crazy.
Hulu's great. I've always enjoyed Hulu for sure. Anyway, all that to say, one more movie that came out today that I think you'll appreciate, and that's Elle Enchanted.
I did like Elle Enchanted.
What was Elle Enchanted? I mean, I have it here. It's a fantasy comedy film based on the novel by Gail Carson Levine.
Anne Hathaway.
Is that who's in that?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the guy. It's not James Marsden, but it's somebody.
Because that was a different.
Like that.
Yeah. James Marsden was in the one where Rachel McAdams or Amy.
True love kiss. Enchanted.
Yeah. And that's different than Elle Enchanted.
Different. Elle Enchanted was like kind of a parody-ish on like fairy tales.
I mean, isn't that what Enchanted was too? A fairy
Kind
tale
of.
princess comes into the real world.
Yeah, but Elle Enchanted is based in the fairy tale land, and so like everything is normal. But the whole thing is like someone like when you're younger, you get in the same way like Aurora. If you think back to Sleeping Beauty, you would like get gifted a gift or something by the fairies,
Okay.
magical fairies or witches or whatever. That same thing happened in Ella Enchanted world, but unfortunately, the person that gave the gift to Ella Enchanted was a fairy or a witch or whatever it was that was known to like her stuff never really panned out the right way.
Yeah.
So like her thing for Ella was like that you'll be obedient.
Oh.
And it should have been just like, maybe like some magical thing or a gift she could happen or whatever. But what it ended up being is anytime anyone said anything to her, like she'd do it. So if they'd say, Ella, stop talking.
Oh,
she would
that's
be
a
like,
cute trope.
And she couldn't talk anymore because she had like the magic forced her to do that. So it's kind of her journey of trying to find herself and then kind of break this not gift, but rather curse.
Kelly's really good at watching movies and really good at explaining them.
Was that right? I mean, did
I
you
don't
feel like you
know.
understand?
Yeah, totally. I understand the...
Yeah. And then things get tough when she finds true love, but her finding true love and her quote unquote gift collide.
And that's what you come to Hardly Working for is 26-year-old movie plot description.
You're welcome. If you haven't seen it.
You're welcome. You know.
I don't know why I felt like I couldn't tell you what happened, but I was like, we might watch it with Brooklyn.
Yeah, no spoilers. That's a no spoiler culture. All
There's
of
some
those
good
movies,
dance scenes in there and some good singing scenes. So
all those movies, very cool. But something happened on television.
Ooh.
A premiere, a show, a series premiere.
CSI? Bones.
No. 2009 on NBC. Comedy.
Do I know it?
Amy Poehler.
Oh, Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec.
That's crazy.
Premiered in 2009, a mockumentary style sitcom depicting the operations of a small town parks department in Pawnee, Indiana. That gave us... It didn't give us Amy Poehler because she's wonderful.
Sorry, I'm saying.
But it gave us... I mean, it's what blew Chris Pratt up for sure.
Yeah, he's no longer the same, but...
Yeah. But he didn't take a terrible...
Bye-bye, little Sebastian.
That's a solid joke if you like Parks and Rec. It gave us Nick Offerman in the limelight. He's great.
And his wife.
Megan Mullally.
She's in Righteous Gemstones this
Heck
season.
yeah, we're an episode behind now too on that because it came
I saw
out
that, yeah.
same night as the season finale of
Of
White
White
Lotus.
Lotus.
Which
I watched all of.
I watched all of the season finale without having watched any
watched
of the
the
episodes.
first episode.
Yeah, so I watched
And
the
last
first and the last. I
So
don't recommend that.
And then he heard me like describe things to him, and he
But
was like,
wasn't that
"Who's
more
Guy Talk?"
fun? Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, it was fun for me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like doing that. I hope I'm good at it. I have no idea.
Well, I'm bad at watching things, but
I'm good at telling you.
I'm great at listening.
Yeah.
So it worked for us.
9 out of 10, I think, is what I scaled you on listening.
Oh, and the gap test?
Yeah.
And you too could do a gap test with your partner.
In 6 months. We'll get there.
Months. Yeah. Oh, can't wait to talk about that. Yeah. Well, thank you. I gave you a 10 out of 10. So also, how dare you?
I may have given you a 10 out of 10. I think I tend to lean, if I'm like, oh, it's definitely a 10 out of 10, I go, well, it'd be crazy for me to put a 10 out of 10. So I'll put a 9 out of 10.
He's not always a good listener.
But with you, I would normally rank higher. And with me, if I was like, I'm a good listener, I'd be like, I think I'm like a 9 out of 10. I'd give myself an 8 or a 7 instead.
Yeah. I think you and I, it's more easy for us to be critical of ourselves individually rather than each other. I think that's just how the nature of our relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, wait, back to Parks and Rec.
Sorry,
You know
Parks
who
and Rec.
else it gave us? Speaking of White
Aubrey
Lotus.
Plaza?
Aubrey Plaza, who wasn't
Yeah.
in this season, but she was in
The
last
season before,
season.
and she was also in My Girl's Show.
Yeah, which is called
Agatha.
All
All
Along.
Along.
You got there. You weren't there, but you got there.
I was like, what's her name?
My Girl's Show.
It was Agatha. Long
Never
brown.
seen you pound your chest, be like, this
My
is my
girl.
show.
Shut it.
I love witches.
It's kind of helped to break up some of the
Some of
phlegm.
the phlegm. Yeah, well, you'll be enjoying that auditorily later as you hear her cough it into her microphone.
No.
But yeah, Aubrey Plaza. Oh, but speaking of Agatha, she was on Parks and Rec too.
Catherine Hahn, I know. Yeah, she is from there, which they were all up there.
She's not from there. I mean,
yeah. Catherine Hahn's been
you can trace her back to the movies you were listing earlier.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. She's in that.
Catherine Hahn is amazing.
Amazing. Let's be
Amazing.
clear. We love her.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's other people that I'm missing from that show. Rashida Jones, obviously in that show.
Who's Ben? What's his name?
Oh, Ben Schwartz, John Ralphio, got
Ben
run
Schwartz
over
too.
by Alexis,
and Jenny Slate. But
How could we forget?
Yeah, Jenny Slate and John Ralphio under not privileged, underappreciated characters in Parks and Rec. We love them, but they're definitely amazing and incredible. Jenny Slate's really come a long way too, kind of making her way into the more serious roles.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm really excited for her. But I'm talking about the guy whose name is actually Ben. That's his character name on the show.
Oh, Adam Scott, of course.
Adam Scott.
Severance. He's the lead in Severance now.
He was he in The Good Place? Yeah, he was in The Good Place.
Yeah, I was going to say some stuff, but no spoilers. He was in The Good Place. Yes. And other stuff.
And
Step Brothers.
And then Chris Traeger.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that didn't break. Who's the man whose name escapes me right now? Oh, I was just talking to my agent about him because he hosts a game show now too. He plays Chris Traeger. He, as a real person, he is not paleo. What's the one where you eat? No, where you only eat like bacon.
It starts with an A. Atkins.
Atkins, yeah.
Atkins diet.
Because it's Rob Lowe, everybody.
Yeah, there it is.
Nailed it.
Anyways, there's a lot of people. We love Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is great. I know there's people that we don't know we're not talking about right now because we can't think about them. Because I was like, you have all the side characters too.
Yeah. Oh, how could we forget Aziz Ansari?
Yeah.
And Retta.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays Gary, Jerry, Terry, Larry.
He's been on a lot. I see him randomly in shows every now and then.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Were you
there
with
he
me
is.
when I saw him at the airport?
Yeah, we didn't say hi to him.
I gave him the nod and he gave me the nod. I was like, I know who you are.
I was like, oh my gosh, there he is, guys.
You're Terry.
Gary, whatever your name is. Anyway, great show.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I didn't watch Parks and Rec for a while because I was a big fan of The Office.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd was on that too, but he's not from there.
Paul Rudd was great.
But
in
obviously
that.
there. Yeah.
But I was like, I already have The Office. This is just a knockoff. This is The Office just in a Parks and Rec situation.
But it was better than The Office.
Honestly, yeah, we should save that for unpopular opinions, but I'll just throw it out there. Parks and Rec, greater than The Office.
Yeah.
Also, though, Parks and Rec doesn't exist without The Office.
That's true.
So, chicken or the egg is what I'm saying.
Which one came first?
Who knows? Well, I guess we know the answer to that.
Office.
Yeah. That's the chicken.
I hear that. But I like Parks and Rec better than The Office. I don't hate The Office. I just like Parks and Rec better.
The Office prides its humor in that uncomfortableness.
Because it's a British TV show that they then made into an American. So they had to stick with some of it.
Totally right. But Parks and Rec, most of their
It's just
humor.
silliness.
It's founded in joy. Grounded in joy.
Yeah.
What was that?
Champion.
So good. I was doing the world premiere for Guardians of the
April
Galaxy
9th.
2.
Yeah.
Starring Chris Pratt. And I was DJing it and hosting it. That was when I brought out James Gunn to introduce the movie and stuff. But I was DJing beforehand and I was like, I'm just gonna take a risk. And I was playing my set, doing my music, and then it all goes quiet and just acoustic guitar comes on and it goes into 1,000 Candles in the Wind, which is Bye Bye Little Sebastian. Your 5,000 candles in the wind, whatever it was. But it killed. And that was a lesson that I learned, that if it is not a stupid risk, risks tend to pay off in those situations. You're not going to put some like death metal song on. But if you're like, there's a good chance I'm going to roll the dice, and if people are fans of Chris Pratt, they'll probably be fans of this.
Were they all singing along?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was very, very fun.
Anyone from Disney come over and be like, you shouldn't have played that?
No, not at all. I did have one time, it might have even been the same gig, actually. I don't remember. But the vibe at these world premieres and stuff, it's not like clubby vibe. It's atmospheric. It's like, they call it Buddha Bar. It's just vibey.
I thought this was for like Turning Red or something. I know what you're about to say.
Do you?
Maybe not.
I think I know what you're talking about, and that was a great moment too. But this was when I was DJing and just having fun, and it was like a good little set. And all of a sudden, I start turned down for what? It's totally like, this doesn't fit the vibe of what we've been playing. It's weird to premiere. And someone who worked there started walking up to me really quickly as it goes 5 to 9 and everybody shots. Turn down for what? But then right after turn down for what, rather than like essentially Rick-rolling everybody, instead of going to the huge drop, I go boom into the Lion King's yeah. And it totally killed. And the person was like walking fast and then went, oh. I guess they could have been like, this isn't right. Don't do this.
Yeah.
But once it went to the Lion King, it was a visual relief on their face. And I was
That's
like,
so
what a fun moment.
That's so funny.
Anyway, Parks and Rec, great freaking show. 10 out of 10, would recommend, still holds up. Oddly enough, we have a world record
April
that
9th.
was set today too. It's rare that happens.
Okay.
And I wish I had more details, but it's just not something I cared to look up. But on this day in 1986,
Okay.
before Kellie was born.
Yeah, I wasn't here yet.
Me either.
Suckers.
Youngest athletics record holder Wang Yan of China set the women's 5,000 meter walk record at age 14 years, 334 days old.
So almost 15.
But not quite. Ask me how fast she did it in.
2 minutes.
I have no idea. And that was not that
How
wasn't
long?
the question.
14 miles?
No, 5,000 meters.
Oh,
She was
5,000
14 years
meters.
old.
How found in miles?
What was that sentence?
Oh, what does meter? What? We don't count things in meters. So
No.
give me something in American metrics because we're the only one of the only countries that does not use meters.
Yeah, a meter is like 3 of my shoes put together.
So it's closer to a yard.
It's almost exactly the same thing.
So 5,000 yards.
Yes.
So how many yards are in a mile?
Okay, we can do this. There's 100 yards in a football field.
There's 104 days of summer vacation, and who comes around just to end it?
So if you
We
had...
didn't learn about meters in school, so SP's gonna teach it.
Like maybe. It's like, hopefully this is right, 50 football fields. Or going up and back 25 times on a
I can have
football
Brooklyn
field.
do that faster than this 14.
Girl, your legs were tired from walking.
How many miles is that?
How am I supposed to know the conversion?
Because you brought that story.
This is easier. Hold on.
Convert
5,000 meters
to
into miles. Oh, I was holding my volume button because I'm an idiot.
Oh, 3.11 miles.
So it's like a 5K, which also is not something you understand.
Isn't 5K 5 miles?
Convert 5 kilometers to miles. That was like 3 miles. 3.11. It's the same thing.
I could do a 5K. I always thought it was 5 miles. I was like, I can't do 5 miles.
But you did convert 3,000 or 5,000 meters into miles.
It's 3.11.
So it's the same thing. So she set a record for walking a 5K the fastest?
I guess so. How fast did she do it?
Still don't know.
Goodness gracious.
It didn't seem that
well,
important.
thanks, April 9th.
For
nothing.
It was a much better bit just doing metric conversion than it was having the answers.
And
Anyway.
who at 14 years old is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set the world record for fastest 5K walked.
To be fair, she was almost 15.
But she wasn't.
A couple people passed on this day in history.
In history.
Prince Philip died in 2021. You may have remembered that.
That's sad.
But also,
Queen followed quickly after.
Poet, laureate of our generation, the man behind the microphone, DMX passed away in 2021.
No. On the same day as Prince Philip?
Oh my God. Do you think it was related?
No.
Hey, do you bring any conspiracies for us?
No, I did. I was trying to think about that in the car. I was like, what was my corner? It was Kelly's conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
I'll come next week with conspiracies.
There was only one conspiracy in the corner. It's a little corner.
No.
It's a
I
small
have
corner.
some. I have some conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I'd like to just change our whole podcast.
I was the Titanic one.
Yeah. I'd like to shift our whole podcast into just
I can give you some conspiracy theories right now.
speculating wildly.
Aliens built the pyramids. And the pyramids are actually generators.
Conspiracy theory has to be something that's not proven to be true yet.
That hasn't been proven to be true yet.
Depends on what you read.
All right, crazy.
I'm just saying I'm on your side for this one.
John F. K. was killed by more than just
Who?
one person. John F. Kennedy? JFK?
John F. K?
Said
Is that what you said?
I did. JFK.
John F. K.
It's a crazy conspiracy.
JF Kennedy got killed?
By more than just...
J. Fitzgerald K?
Oh my God. Get away.
Fitzcarrald.
Go away.
Fitzcarrald? It's not even a word.
That is a weird conspiracy, but I'm just in my conspiracy corner. I don't believe it.
You're in your conspiracy era?
Corner.
Well, we talked
Thanks,
about
April 9th.
the passings. The last thing, of course, is celebrity birthdays.
Birthdays.
Best actress of our generation, maybe of all time, Kristen Stewart was born in 1990, star of Twilight and other films.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Maybe?
She's a very big indie star.
Is she?
Not particularly like her. She's not my favorite.
How old do you think Ella Fanning is?
Elle Fanning.
I was thinking Ella Enchanted Fanning, but we'll go with Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning. Younger than me.
Okay, so if we
She's younger than Dakota too.
Give me a year you think maybe she was born in. It was the 90s, I'll tell you
96.
that. 96. Pretty good guess. What about recent rapper Lil Nas X?
97.
Dang, pretty close. Elle Fanning, 1998. Lil Nas X, 1999.
Okay.
Somehow Lil Nas X is younger than Elle Fanning?
Yeah.
Some of these kids stars are stars when they were children. Like Elle Fanning's a good one. Dakota Fanning's a good one. The girl from Little Miss Sunshine is another one. Abigail Breslin, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Or Chloe Grace Moretz. They just lock in my mind as like children.
Yeah.
And to think that Lil Nas X is younger than Elle Fanning.
And they just haven't been around as long. So you don't know. Because they had to grow up faster, Dakota and Elle.
That's true.
You also have Kiernan Shipka. Is that her name? Kiernan?
Is that the brother of the Home Alone kid, Macaulay Culkin?
No, but his name is also Kiernan. No, she is Sabrina in the remake of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but she was in acting for forever, which I notice more now when I watch them. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's her.
Okay. There's a lot of new actors and actresses. I'm not sure if we just call them all actors now. I think everyone's just an actor. I don't know. There's a lot of people I don't know. And thank goodness. Okay. You should really start doing my job because you recognize these people.
I do.
And I'm always like, hi, nice to meet you. What's your body of work to talk about?
When you talk about hosting?
Yeah.
Sure.
All
my
right.
gosh, I just saw you in that thing. It was amazing. It was incredible. You should just talk to me beforehand and I can fill you in. Or we could have like a little earpiece in and you could be like, I'm about to enter you, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, oh, here's this person's like whole, they're just not called discography because they're not singers, but here's their whole.
IMDb.
Yeah.
I'm here with Ella Fanning.
Elle.
Are you sure?
Elle Fanning. Yes.
I think it's Ella.
Her biggest thing right now that she's doing or that she did.
Wait. I got nothing.
Is it just called The Great or it's that like period show where she's married?
It's a show about her period?
No. Is it called The Great? I think it's just called The Great.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah, right into the microphone, please.
Sorry. I watched the first 2 seasons of this. There's a lot. It's like she's like married to like King George or King something. And then she becomes the queen of something.
All right. Well, if that sounds exciting
I'm pretty
to you,
sure it's
check
called
it
The
out,
Great.
guys.
Anyway, it was pretty good. Lots of nudity, but kind of awkward and weird in its own way. It was good. It was fine. The guy in it.
You don't know what it's called, but you've actually watched it?
I'm pretty sure it's called The Great.
Is it a show or
it's a TV show.
And you've watched the whole thing?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched the first couple of episodes or a couple of seasons. And then I stopped.
The first couple of seasons?
Maybe the first. It is called The Great.
And you don't know what it's called?
It's called The Great.
I remember this. I think I turned you on to it. I was like, hey, if you like Bridgerton, you should watch this.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. They really leaned into it.
Yeah, I really didn't like it. But I want to know who the guy in it is now. You're welcome, everybody.
I was like, that's a wild way to fill in the dead air by alluding.
You know what?
Lee. That one was for Shim.
My voice, does it sound better or worse? I feel like the talking.
It's getting stronger.
No, it's not.
I think it is. I do. Not stronger than normal, but stronger than when we started.
Oh, okay. I'm never going to find him, so we're not going to do this way. Oh, Nicholas Hoult. He was the main guy in this, but he was in The Menu. That's how I know who he is.
Oh.
Not that I watched that.
Well, if we're
And Nosferatu.
If we're talking about people named Nick and we're talking about casting news, since you don't know who this person is, this is not official, but this is Nick Frost, who is allegedly possibly up for the role of Hagrid
Interesting.
in the new Harry Potter remake coming to HBO or Max or whatever here soon.
Cool.
Which I think totally could work. He is a shorter guy.
Listen, I don't have as strong of opinions about this as some people do. I'm just here for the ride. I hope
the Harry Potter ride?
I hope it's just as good as I want it to be. And I should have been rereading the books with Brooklyn as she's been reading them.
You can still.
I think she can watch this TV show.
You think so? I think it's made for people our age. I think it's going to be a darker look into this world that they couldn't do for the teens and tweens.
Okay, well, I'm going to watch the first couple of episodes. And
yeah. That's all a guess, by the way. I haven't read anything.
I would assume that like the first season, I'm assuming that it's going to match the books. And the first book wasn't that dark. It gets darker over time. I mean, she's read up to the third book now, just about.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. But that's everything that happened on April 9th.
Thanks, April 9th.
Now it's time to get into some never-ending stories. Not copyright infringement because it's plural.
Never-ending stories.
I liked your DMX version of it. Oh. Okay, I'm really pumped about this first story. Really and truly pumped about it. Okay. Because for everyone who keeps telling us that we say we'll follow up on stuff and we don't.
We don't.
Here's a freaking follow-up for you.
But he does.
A follow-up from an episode 75 episodes ago, Cal. A story from 75 episodes ago.
How many episodes do we have?
115, 125.
That's a lot of episodes ago. Towards the beginning.
Over a year ago.
With the tadpoles?
No, but that's a good story too.
Got it. I'm not going to guess anymore because I don't know that I could remember.
There was a story that we talked about over a year ago.
Rookie.
About a company who was trying to resurrect the extinct woolly mammoth.
Is this what you and Brooklyn were talking about, bringing back dinosaurs this morning?
Yeah.
Can they do it? Bring back the woolly mammoth?
Yes, I actually don't know. But the reason that I got to that is because I read an article this week. Have you heard of the dire wolf?
Yeah. Aren't dire wolves in
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all died except for one, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe in Game of Thrones.
Snow.
in real life?
They all died.
They're dead.
I thought they were fake. I thought they were made up.
Good.
For Game of Thrones.
Yeah. No.
They're real.
They're real.
I want a dire wolf.
Too bad. They're extinct.
But this company's going to bring them back.
Not only that, but they did.
Is it like a little puppy wolf?
Right now it is, but ultimately it won't be because it is one of the biggest and baddest apex predators, which kind of makes you wonder why they went extinct.
The asteroid, the comet, whatever hit the Earth.
Well, it was only like 10,000 years ago, I think, that they went away. Anyway, let me tell you about this.
T-Rexes.
Not only have they come up with or resurrected one, they have 3. Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi are the newest direwolf pups.
We mixed Harry Potter with Game of Thrones for why?
Is that from Harry Potter?
Romulus and Remus.
Who's Khaleesi?
Khaleesi is Queen. Khaleesi is Emilia Clarke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know enough about TV shows.
But you know
and
who
movies.
Emilia Clarke is?
Yeah, I've seen her butt on Game of Thrones. With all of her
facial expressions.
Isn't she the mother of dragons?
She is. She's Khaleesi, Queen. It means Queen in Dothraki. I'm such a freaking nerd.
Yeah, wow.
You didn't watch Game of Thrones with me. I didn't even finish it. I still have more to go. I have 2 more seasons.
You should get back to it because I think you'd like it.
I think I would have to catch up. It's been a long time.
You know, there's recaps.
But I do love Emilia Clarke. It's a big reason why I watched it because I really like Emilia Clarke. And then I really started to like Kit Harington.
Yeah, sure.
That's Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And I'll never say his name any differently.
No. What is that accent you're trying to do?
The girl that he like falls in love with that eventually dies, and I don't feel like this is. If I didn't get it spoiled, this can't be a spoiler for you because I've just seen it now for the first time ever.
Sure, we can justify it that way. Whatever.
But she had a really thick, weird like Scottish accent like that. But she always called him Jon Snow.
Snow.
Jon Snow.
Snow.
Yeah. And she says something to him as she dies, like you know nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Snow. Jon Snow. So anyway.
We're going up to Big Bear Arrowhead soon. Do you think there'll be any snow there?
Should we reenact it? You know nothing, Jon Snow. But I did see the guy. His name is Sam.
Wise
Tawell.
Oh,
Sam. No, but everyone has a wise Sam, don't they? Sam Tawell, something like that. He was also in that new show, that the VR show that you kind of watched, but then didn't.
3 Body Problem?
Yeah. He was at BAFTA
I made it through a
Awards.
whole episode of that.
I saw him at the BAFTA Awards. I tried to get him in the booth. I said, "You want to take a picture?" He's like, "No." It's like,
No.
"All right, Jon Snow. I mean, Sam."
I'm Sam New with my friend Jon Snow.
It's a bummer, but I did see him. I also saw Walton Goggins there, who also was in line to get a picture and then got out of line. And I was like, God.
Which makes me so sad. But speaking of Walton, we'll get back to our scientific frickin' breakthrough after we talk pop culture.
I want a
again.
direwolf.
I am just so excited for Walton because he's finally getting his time to shine.
He's so great.
He is so great. I discovered him in Vice Principals. That was my first exposure.
He's great. That
Then-
too.
Amazing in Vice Principals, incredible in Righteous Gemstones. He was on a show called The Unicorn that got canceled. He was a star of that, but
did
that
see
was
that.
like a network on cable show, and it just wasn't that. It wasn't for him. I mean, maybe it was, but it wasn't the version of him that I love.
Yeah.
Then, of course, he's the main bad guy in the Fallout series on Amazon, and of course, one of the leads in this
White
third season of
Lotus.
White Lotus. So he had White Lotus finale come out the same day that another Righteous Gemstones
Yeah, I totally
episode
forgot
came
about that.
out.
That's so
yeah,
funny.
like and he's in a movie about, I don't know the details of it. It's some guy who was like a trash collector or janitor or something, but then he went on to win on Match Game like the most anyone's ever won. It's
He's
like
going to be in that.
I don't know if it's documentary or mockumentary or something, but he's really getting his time in the sun.
But he's great.
And he's freaking great. Yes, it's always Walton, but it is always like you just believe in the character. Nothing shows me that more than baby Billy Freeman on Gemstones.
Baby
He
Baba
looks
Billy.
like 30 years older than he really is.
Yeah.
And he is that character. It's wild. And same thing even with Vice Principals.
Okay, he's great in that.
As he plays that guy that you just love to hate. Kind of like the guy on Suits, the rat face guy on Suits.
Lewis Litt.
Yeah, where you
You
love
got
to hate
lit
him.
up.
There you go. He's like that on Vice Principals. A much funnier, upbeat version
Yeah,
of
I've
that.
seen it. So
Yeah, but not everyone. Most people have never seen Vice Principals, the series
you
on
should.
HBO.
It's fun. It's good.
And of course, he was killer on White Lotus. And I think that
Oh,
between
yeah.
Fallout and White Lotus happening back to back, I think that's the thing where people are going to be like, oh, it makes him a household name, which he should have always been. He's incredible. So that's my little 2 cents on Walton Goggins.
And
We've
he
loved him
deserves a
forever.
direwolf.
Thanks, Walton
Wolf.
Goggins. Anyway, direwolves. Back to the wolves. So here's what happened. They took a tooth that was 13,000 years old from a direwolf and a skull that was 72,000 years old. They took DNA from that and they put it essentially into a dog, and the dog birthed these 3 puppies. But I got more curious. So I went to my friend Chat.
Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. Like I said, Romulus and Remus are 2 Harry Potter names.
Yes, that I didn't know. But I went on to Chat and I was like,
I'm pretty sure.
what are the implications of bringing back a species like this? So I was like, imagine, let's do some, let's think it through, whatever it is, role play. Let's say we have these new dire wolves and we put them in whatever their normal natural habitat is, like closest to that. What are the implications on other wildlife, on the wolves themselves and all this stuff? Like what species would be in danger because they're predators, and what would they be in danger from? And that's how I learned. They're like, the only natural predator to a dire wolf is a human. They said maybe a bear if the bear wants to kill for fun, but nothing else.
Wow.
So they likely they would disrupt the whole ecosystem because they would overhunt things like deer, or
Dang. Yeah.
that's not even a small mammal. I mean, that's pretty sizable.
Make deer go extinct because we want dire wolves. So
But that's the thing. And I started thinking about that too. I was like, if you're religious, you would call it playing God, that you're creating things.
Yeah, I was like, how? Go ahead. Sorry.
But let's not forget, in 2001, they cloned a sheep. There was no sheep, and then there was a sheep. Like we've cloned things, and that's kind of what this is. It's the CRISPR technology.
Yeah.
And also, you're not really bringing back the thing totally. Even with the mammoths, they were going to put the mammoths in, I think it was a Chinese elephant, Asian elephant, because it was the closest relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's still going to come out part woolly mammoth, part Asian elephant. And in this case,
I'm like, can I ask you this then? How far away do you think we are from an Isla? What do they call it? Isla Nublar? Or something
Nublar?
like that? Yeah.
from what, Jurassic
From
Park?
a Jurassic Park or
Not
Jurassic
far.
World.
I mean,
We know how that works out, everybody. I just need to say it. We have 2 separate movie series and a third one coming that show us,
yeah.
which I will watch that third one.
Humanity forgets very quickly. I noticed during COVID, I was like, if there was a zombie apocalypse, like who's stupid enough to go out? And then COVID happened. And sometimes people are like, my rights are more important than survival.
And they're
I
gone.
was like,
Zombie apocalypse, they'd be gone though.
yeah. And a lot of them were gone because of COVID too, for the same reasons. But it doesn't give me a lot of hope that if we had an island full of dinosaurs, that people wouldn't go to it, or that the richest bidders wouldn't be buying them for their homes and museums and stuff like that. Yeah. Jurassic Park might turn into a documentary, like a early documentary of what could be. But all that to say, if you can extract DNA from something that's 75,000 years old, there's a lot of dinosaur bones out there. Like, there's no real reason if they can do this with the dire wolves, which happened.
Yeah.
I've seen them. It's on the cover of Time magazine right now. If they can do that with the dire wolf, they're already talking about trying it with the mammoth. Why wouldn't you be able to do it with the Brachiosaurus?
I hear that. I just don't want a T-Rex or any velociraptors.
But you know what? Sorry, this is tangent, but it's really not. It's just a long time on this. I think the reason why it'd be tricky to do something like a T-Rex or a raptor or something is because when we have the dire wolf, we're using a dog to give birth. When we have the mammoth, we're using an elephant to give birth. What are you going to do? What's comparable to a Brachiosaurus or a raptor?
Some type of lizard.
Yeah, so you're more likely...
Or feathers. They said feathers on them.
They did say that, so it might be an ostrich. I don't know. But I'm thinking, I don't know the names for it, but we've seen like the terrible reptilian dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Like, you're more likely to have something that's closer to a crocodile, a dinosaur that's like a crocodile, than maybe something that's like a herbivore, Triceratops, Stegosaurus.
Those are probably closer. They're all born out of eggs, so that's the other part. It can't be a mammal. It has to be a reptile.
I wonder if we know that for sure. Probably, but I don't know.
That's what I see in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I have to assume that they did their research.
Honestly,
and if you look at what they made, that weird, crazy thing they made in Jurassic World, it was like dinosaur stuff mixed with like frog and something else.
Yeah, I don't think that's scientifically backed, but
no,
yes.
but maybe.
but
you know.
Who knows? Anyway, that was really exciting, and it's kind of the biggest story of the week here, there, and everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely insane that this is happening. I think it's really exciting. I think if the world, or at least America, I can't speak for the world, if America didn't have something insane in the top of the headlines like 3 to 4 times a day, something like this would be remarkable and revolutionary.
Happening in America, or is it happening somewhere else?
I actually don't remember where it's happening. I remember the company, and I think it is a United States company, Colossal Biosciences, but I don't know if it's out here in America. I can't remember. But
crazy.
Pretty crazy. Pretty cool. Anyway, I've got some more stories here, but I know we're running long, as we always do. Maybe the show just needs to be longer. But if we have some more time, I've got some stories. But that was the one that I knew I needed to hit.
Well, I would take a dire wolf.
Would you take 3 direwolf puppies?
No, just 1. 3 seems overwhelming.
Yeah, it feels like chimp crazy. Mm-hmm. You're like, I have a direwolf and we're in love. Yeah, it ripped off all my fingers. They're supposed to be really
big.
They're huge.
I've seen them on Game of Thrones, I'm telling you.
I wonder why. They said like the closest living animal that's like that are gray wolves.
I was going to say it's like an actual wolf.
Yeah, it is like an actual wolf. But I wonder why they didn't just put the embryo in a gray wolf then. I have no idea. Science. Pretty remarkable.
Harder to control a gray wolf, maybe?
Could be.
Maybe they're endangered. I don't know.
Well, let's get into some unpapa pins.
Rookie.
Now, I asked you this in the car. Do you want to be in control of this? Or do you want me to steer the boat?
Doesn't matter to me. What's your preference?
You know what? I'm going to hand it over to you. Turn over the reins now that we're mixing metaphors. We're driving a horse boat. And by driving, I mean captaining?
Yep. Captaining a horse boat.
Yep.
That's what you said. A horse?
It used to be extinct. Yeah, because I was turning over the reins, which would be a horse thing.
Got it. That's not what I thought. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah.
I'm not the crazy one here.
All right. Unpop opinions.
Unpapa pins. Hit me with them.
You'd be perfect to answer this one.
Yeah.
Not really. Dresses and skirts should not have pockets. False.
A man must have written this.
Yeah, I was like, that's so insane. I thought it said have pockets, and I was like, I could see why this is in the middle. No, they should have pockets. Hidden pockets. Always pockets.
Yes to dress. I have to imagine tougher with skirts, especially like the smaller the skirt is, the less likely it is to have room to put a pocket in.
It doesn't matter. If you're going to put a skirt on, you have an understanding that like you're probably going to have a bag.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to have stuff in your pockets, but I like having pockets.
Even though you really don't use your pockets ever.
Not anymore, no.
You use your bandolier, not a sponsor.
I wish they were. I love bandolier.
You do. Bandolier, hit us up.
I just showed someone my bandolier the other day and they're like, I'm going to go get one. I was like, yeah, you will.
Yeah, where were we? Was that at a grocery store?
Salt and Straw.
Salt and Straw. Yeah, I was like, I wonder if they just say that, like, nice things to everyone.
She saw it 3 times. She has to see it again and again.
And then once you said no tip, she left. I'm just kidding.
Should I have given her I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay. Hot honey is the worst food trend ever.
I think this is ridiculous too. I think specifically on hot chicken sandwiches, it's like the greatest thing. It's the perfect thing.
On some salads, some dishes, some chicken dishes, it's good.
Yeah. I don't think there's a ton of uses for it, but it's not the worst food trend ever.
I'm trying to think of a different food trend.
I can tell you a food trend that sucks. I think I talked about this after my Canada trip. I was DJing for like 12 straight hours right next to a halved wheel of cheese that they had a hot light on. So you could do that cool, like scrape off melty cheese into a sandwich. That was probably cool. Standing next to the smell of burning cheese for 12 hours kind of turned me off from that trend.
You never told me that was where you
It was
standing.
horrible. I would take
sound
a hot honey bar right there instead any day.
I can tell you a food trend that I think is stupid.
What?
Loaded water.
Oh, really?
I tried this the other day because I was like, well, let me see.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Well,
made me
explain to
sick.
people who
I
don't
hated
know what it is.
Loaded water is like, it's such a weird thing for me, but I like water and I am a water drinker. Like I have water right next to me over here. I love water and I drink a lot of it. I feel like
Hot
you do
take.
too now.
Unpopular opinion, but
No, it's
we are
not.
pro water
But
here.
some people like need their water to be flavored in order to drink it. You're not that person because you can drink water, but you like your water sparkly or something like that. Like you like to have, it's the mouthfeel, right? And some people like will not drink water. And so they've now gone to this like extreme of we're going to have loaded water. And what that is, it could be anything. A lot of times I see it's like a mix of coconut water, some electrolyte powder mix, normally an Olipop or a Poppy.
Yeah, I
and
wonder
then
where
just
this started.
basic water.
It feels like a Salt Lake City thing, doesn't it? Doesn't this feel
Probably.
like a Utah
and
thing?
They normally put it in like a huge, like 32 or higher ounce glass with like tons of, and like different shaped ice and different things like that. Sometimes their ice is flavored too. I tried it the other day. I actually think it was the flavor of the Olipop that I didn't like because I took a sip of it. It was like a watermelon something. I took a sip of it and I was like, this is just too sweet for me. It's not the flavor that I wanted.
Allegedly, it started in Oklahoma.
I mean, all of that tracks. It definitely didn't start in California. So.
No. But it was a terrible time. Kelly hated it. She didn't drink it. It wasn't cool.
It made me sick, honestly. I was like, it probably was the Olipop, like I said, but I just drink water.
Normal human
water.
water.
But I think that is such a weird trend because I'm like, I get it. It's like a TikTok thing, right? But I'm like, you don't need to convince me to drink more water.
Yeah.
Like I don't need another flavor in my water. I like it sometimes. Like I like the San Pellegrino blood orange flavor.
It's ashwagandha, isn't it? Or
Aranciata.
whatever it is. It's a weird one that I don't
It's
like,
blood
but you
orange
would be freaking
is what
love
it is. But I really like that. But that's just flavored water. But I love flavored sparkling water. I love it. But I don't need it. Like I can just drink water. So I think that's a very weird trend because it is just a lot of crap you're putting in to get yourself to maybe drink some water that's actually in there because it's really just soda.
Yeah, you've screwed it all up. I think that's a great example of something that's dumber than hot honey. I will say this though, it is fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that deceives you into thinking it will be
And
enjoyable.
everyone goes, this one's so good. I'm like, no, it's not. I've also seen people, and this is crazy to me. This one person who does this loaded water, she has like a loaded water station, and in the loaded water station is a bunch of like those sugar-free syrups of like different flavors that she'll put into your water. And I'm like, that to me is very weird. Like I said, I don't need the extra flavor.
And that's why it felt Utah to me because like what they do with their sodas.
I'm like, if that's your coffee station, that's awesome. Or if that's like your soda station where you're like, that's amazing. But I was like, I don't need any of that crap in my water.
No.
Truly, like I said, every now and then I do like the flavored sparkling water, but I don't need that. Like you give me water, be fine. So I do think this is a lot unloaded water. I'm very opinionated on it. I don't necessarily get it.
Honestly, you nailed it. I think that confirms that what this person said is stupid and wrong. Hit me with another one.
Showers should be done with real soap. What does that mean?
Like a bar of soap versus a body wash.
Have you ever, who in their right mind in 2025, that's the year we're in, washes their body with a bar of soap? And not a loofah.
Yeah. Guys, girls, in betweens, loofah and body wash.
I hate using a bar of soap. And whenever I don't do this anymore.
It's just in the 50s.
Because now we like travel well with, I like have my stuff. My travel pack is ready to go. I just got to put my toothbrush in there. But every now and then when I was on the road with Chick-fil-A and I'd forget to bring stuff and I have to use a bar of soap to wash my body because I didn't have a loofah. I was like, what is this thing that like doesn't really lather? And it's a bar of soap and you're trying to get it in your armpit, you're stabbing your armpit.
Yeah.
God forbid any other part of your body that you're like, this wasn't like shaped for this part of my body.
And the washcloth does nothing in terms of getting the bubbles going.
Yeah.
Whereas a loofah with body wash,
it's the best.
5 people
and
could
that's
use that
real
loofah
soap. What's wrong
in
with
a
that?
row. Yeah.
You want me to use Dawn soap in the shower?
Irish Spring.
Whatever.
That was a commercial I remembered from being a kid. Last night, Kellie was finishing up a shower and I was in the bedroom and she walked in on me.
Cheezosaurus Rex.
She walked in on me watching old commercials, like 25 minutes of old commercials. So if you wonder why I don't watch shows, it's because most of my time is taken up by
on
watching
YouTube.
the newest product from Betty Crocker, the Betty Crocker Bacon Fill.
Some of the weirdest things. He's a weirdo.
Do you remember the bacon fill though? It was a dome-shaped cake pan that you could fill with your favorite ice creams, jellos for some reason, fruits for some reason, or other things. It's the Betty Crocker Bacon Shake or whatever.
Bacon shake.
Bacon Fill. Bacon Fill by Betty Crocker.
You could be an infomercial voice.
But we also did get to that mac and cheese commercial that we've always sung to Brooklyn, but she doesn't know, where it goes, Cheezosaurus Rex. Because we always call her a Clomposaurus Rex. And our upstairs neighbor is a Clomposaurus Rex.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
The Clomposaurus came from Archer.
Oh, because he called Lana Clomposaurus?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
it's not ours.
That's not,
it's not ours.
It's not ours. It's hers. It's theirs. It's
Dang.
Archer's. Yeah, Clomposaurus.
Anyway, Google nostalgic commercials. It's fun.
It's fun. On YouTube.
I was sad about this too. Sorry, it's my last point of that. You know, I'll go back. It started because TikTok would occasionally feed me something. They're like, here's a creepy crawlers commercial. Or here's like put beads in your hair by yourself infomercial. Here's the perfect pancake. And I loved infomercials as a kid. I was like, I need that. I'm totally susceptible to like MLMs as a 10-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's what would happen. And I like going back and reliving that stuff. But now it's going to be so sad. Like if our kids relive commercials, it's going to be like Candy Crush, Gardenscapes. It'll be like, pull this pin out, but don't let the lava. It's like going to be all of those mobile ad, like that's terrible things.
I hate that for them. But you know what? Brooklyn likes it now. There's still other commercials too, but.
I'm sure, but not
Juicy
ones
Drop.
You see that. She'll remember that one. That one still airs.
I know.
So crazy.
Why make a new one when you have one that's not broken? You need to check on that payment, by the way.
That's true. I will do that. Probably. What's our next unpopular opinion?
We need to normalize using stuffed animals. What, however, do you mean?
You know, I didn't write it, but it seems like even adults these days might utilize pillows or stuffed animals. I can tell you, while I don't have a stuffed animal, I do have a stuffed pillow. They just call them pillows. But I have a pillow that I need to sleep with because otherwise my shoulder's going to get jacked up. So I think having a stuffed thing other than just the pillow under your head is important. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know you're not trying to embarrass me. I do sleep with a stuffed animal that you in Brooklyn gave me in between my boobs when I sleep.
There we go.
It's pretty normal for girls to have some sort of, well, at least in my opinion, it's from my friends. Like it's pretty normal to have something that's like,
Between
whether it be
girls.
like a pillow, like a small pillow or a small stuffed animal or something like that. Yeah. When you have bigger ones.
So who are these people? Name names. I'm just kidding.
Let me name. I'm just kidding. But no, yeah. But I'm a weirdo and I do. And I take it on the road. It reminds me of Brooklyn and you when I'm not with you.
Oh.
It's a comfort animal now.
It needs to be replaced is what it needs to do.
It's on you in Brooklyn.
It's an old one. But that's the thing. Once you get used to something, like when we try to swap out
I know.
Brooklyn's deal with something that was similar, it was like, not gonna cut it.
I know.
Not gonna cut it.
Arno, make fun of me all you want. I don't care. I'm happy when I sleep.
All right. Do we have a couple more on there?
Last one.
Okay.
Because you took off all my White Lotus ones, apparently. People who don't gossip are weird.
I think that is true. I'm just going to tell you this right now. Kellie and I don't go around gossiping. We're not sharing our business. Well, we share our business on the show. We're not sharing your business with other people.
Just
We're
to
not
each
spreading
other.
things around. But you better believe we talk to each other about everything.
Everything.
There's no gossip left unturned between the two of us. Again, it's not going out into the world. It's not even on the podcast. But we talk about freaking everything.
We do.
And so, yeah, I don't remember exactly how it was phrased, but I think...
People who don't gossip are weird.
Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm getting at. You don't have to gossip with the world or spread stuff around.
No, but like your
we'll
closest
spill the
person.
tea together
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. We're not going to spill the tea on the podcast.
Never. But if you're listening to this and you're like, about me, about you too. Whoever you are, if I have met you.
We are talking about you.
Yes.
But most of our gossip is positive gossip.
Yeah, it's pause goss.
Pause gossip. That's dumb. I hate it. Take it back. Anyway.
It's not gossip. But it's just more, you and I talk about freaking everything.
We talk about everything all the time. All of our thoughts, all of our feelings, all of the weird things, all of the bad things. Even the other day, I was like, you're my safest person. And so you get like the dirty.
Laundry?
The deepest, darkest,
this was
dumbest
yesterday.
things. Yeah, whatever I was saying. I don't remember how I phrased it to you, but I was like, you get like the worst parts.
Yeah. And I think that's healthy and appropriate.
Because I got to work through it too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe. Okay. No, we're good. So it goes. You know?
I also just thought about the handful of friends that listen to the show, and I just want them to know.
We don't gossip about you.
Yeah, when I was like you, I wasn't really talking about you, although we probably have.
But gossip, what is a name? Gossip means like talking. We're just talking.
What is the name? Romulus,
Whatever. We
Remus,
just talk
Khaleesi.
about you guys. That's all. We like to talk.
Because we love you.
We like to gossip about what we think is going to happen in TV shows and celebrities.
It's pause goss.
I don't know.
It's not working,
I think you're weird if you don't gossip, though. That to me tells me that you're not paying attention enough.
You know what's interesting,
And if you can't have an opinion on anything,
then you stand for nothing.
That's right.
I've had some friends where things in normal conversations have kind of turned to something that is going to feel gossipy or like, should we be talking about this? And most people, they just keep talking. There's some people in our lives that do not engage with it.
Good for them. I can't think of a single person. Oh.
I'm just saying there's a couple of people that like, it's just not who they are to want to talk about other people, which I think is really, really great. And not
unless
in
it's a
negative ways.
positive way.
Yeah, exactly. And oddly enough, I think you and I tend to be those people, with the exception of if we're talking about someone that it makes sense mutually with everybody, we're trying to figure out what's going on here. But that's less gossip and more like, what's going on here? But there are some people that just like, I don't know if they don't like talking about other people or they worry about people talking about them or what. And nobody likes to be talked about when they're not around. That's for sure. But
I'll
some
talk
people.
about it to your face.
That's a big truth for you. Yeah. You'll probably say it to the person's face kindly.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I want to gossip with you about your gossip.
I don't know how to land this plane anymore. I think I've lost it.
No, listen, I think that you are weird if you are not gossiping. I'm not saying that I appreciate people that gossip because the assumption is that you're going around and telling people a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
gossip
think
with your partner,
that's the type
not
of
with the
gossiper
world.
I am.
No.
But you best believe that when we get into bed at nighttime,
it's time for some pause goss.
That's right. No, we're debriefing about the day, or we're sitting on the couch at the end of the day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my gosh, can you believe blah 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 blah?
Yeah. I
feel like I'm painting us to be these terrible people who are like, we talk crap about everybody, but I don't feel that way. I just like we just
don't
talk about our lives and what we think and what we thought.
Here's what I'll say is that having those conversations has taught us a really important lesson in our life that we've talked about on the show before, but having to assess those moments that we've seen with people has gotten us to that point where we ask ourselves a question: is this a matter of right and wrong, or is it just not my preference? And 90% of the time, it's just not my preference. And like, that's really led us to a place where we can let go of stuff. We'll talk about it to be like, what's going on here? What do you know? But it's never getting spread to other people. 2, often landing in a place of like, that's between that person and whoever.
Yeah.
And 3, I really only had 2 points.
What?
But yeah, that it's just like being able to talk about so much of that stuff has led us to a place where we can actually be more hands off and less gossipy about people, because we've landed in this place where we're like, that's just a choice that they're making. It's not the choice I would make, but it's just the choice that they're making. It's not like 10 years ago where it would have been like this is wrong and I need to tell them that this is wrong.
Yeah, but also if you tell me something and I don't agree with you, I'm probably going to tell you like, I don't agree with you, but I support you. That's what you want to do.
If someone tells you something about yourself.
No. If someone's like, I'm going to quit my job and move to Africa.
Okay.
I might be like, that's an interesting choice. Mm-hmm. And are you sure you want to do that? Like, have you thought through all the things? Have you made sure? But then ultimately I'm going to land in the like, if you've thought about it and that's what you want to do, go for it. Let them. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get a little specific here while also keeping things.
I feel like I got as specific as I could be.
About the same thing?
Probably.
Because we're all adults and everyone has to make their own choices and everyone's the main character of their own story. We're just side characters.
But also, like, I'm not even just, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not necessarily talking specific. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, everyone gets to make their own decision. If you want to quit your job, if you want to move somewhere new, if you want to date somebody or not date somebody or marry someone or not marry them or whatever.
It just doesn't matter.
I'm the friend that's probably going to be like, have you thought about all that?
Yeah. But to us, it just doesn't matter. Like, make your choice.
But if you have and you seem happy and it's not hurting you or harming you, then I'm probably going to land in the like, good for you. And then I'm going to go home and be like, isn't that so weird? We would never do that.
No, never.
But it's just not our preference. It's not who we are. It's not where we're at. I'm sure there are millions of things that you and I do that people are like, wow, they travel all the time.
Wow.
That's not our preference.
They have a podcast.
That feels like a lot of work.
They think people want to listen to them.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. So talk about me. I've had enough people gossip about me in my lifetime.
Yeah, me too. There's just not enough to gossip about with me.
I mean,
there is, but I don't know. I try to live my life in a way that is loving and caring and positive. And not hurting other people
just trying to
and
defend
never
ourselves.
hurting children ever.
That's right. But whatever. If you want to gossip about me, gossip about me. I don't really care. I'm not living my life for you. So do you. And I'll do me.
And we'll do each other.
All right.
That's it for this week's episode of Hardly Working. Anything you're looking forward to this week? I'm leaving for Puerto Rico.
Some sleep.
And you will get a lot of sleep while I'm in Puerto Rico.
That's kind of it. I have a couple of gigs coming up in the end of this month and early next month. And then we're going on our little retreat, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, I'm just tired in this moment.
Yeah.
Specifically. But I am looking forward to those things.
Me too. I've got a gig in Puerto Rico. That's going to be like 6 days. So It's quite a bit of time. I knew. I'm realizing I'm kind of heading back into the insanity. I think, it feels yucky to say and worse to feel. But starting Saturday, I'm pretty much in that insane season through until June, I think. So it's going to get a little nuts, especially if I book that other thing we were just talking about earlier. Great. That'll be a full 5 days of filming in the middle of that.
It'll be great.
Fingers crossed that everything works out and that I can juggle everything mentally and emotionally, not just physically as well. But lots coming up, lots to talk about on future episodes, including an episode of Hardly Working Through It. I hope you enjoyed the return of Hardly Working Through It last week. Woo. We had a good time doing it. And we're going to be sending more. It may not be each and every week, but we're going to be sending more your way. So look forward to that. Don't forget, hang out with us off of the podcast, outside of the podcast, Instagram and TikTok at It's Hardly Working. You can also follow us personally if you wanted to. I'm at Sean Patrick DJ, at SEAN Patrick DJ.
And I'm at Kellie.McGillicuddy. Good luck.
I was like, why is she laughing?
Because I'm like, Kellie with an IE, McGillicuddy with no U.
I bet you could find us through Hardly Working. If you go to It's Hardly Working, you could probably find us. We'll be there.
Though. Our name's not easy. Sorry.
And we'll be square. But until we talk next, my words, they're starting off
Until
differently.
we talk next time.
Some unpopped pins and some pause goss is coming your way. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope it is refreshing and relaxing. I hope the hard times pass quickly and the good times drip slowly. Or any other adjective I should have picked.
Who are you? What is this?
In that you spend most of your time
Hardly working. Love you.
Mean it.
Bye.
Bye. Don't let it drip.
Oh my gosh.